Hey
Hey,
everyone.
we are back.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Did you miss us?
We're back. And we have Crystal. We have an
And we
extra
have Crystal.
for the tripod today.
Yeah, we got the trio, the half a tripod and a dream.
yeah, they came and picked me up on the way.
Yeah.
Half a tripod in the dream was honestly the best thing that I've
Love
ever
it. Love it.
Uh,
Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. Let's
how is
see if anyone
everyone?
additional is going to hop in. I think today's going to be a busy day. We're on Verdict Watch at Lindsay Clancy. Hey Victoria, welcome
Hi
in.
Victoria, welcome in.
I watched Closing Arguments. What did you guys think?
Hi Summary. I think it's interesting. I really liked what Army Vet was saying, not to get off topic from another chat, but in Wayne's chat, Army Vet was talking a lot about how he doesn't think that they were doing a great job bringing it back to the children, which that is something that I keep coming back to. I just feel so heartbroken for the children. So, please say a prayer for them, say a prayer for anyone who was friends with those kids, anyone who knew them. I just think it's so terrible either way. That this happened, and now there's a lot of online discourse about it. It's just really heartbreaking. Um,
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like we need to go back to the original reason here is about the children. Those three
mhm.
children lost their lives. We're here for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mixed emotions around this case when it comes to mental health. Who thinks who is guilty or why this situation has happened? I think at the end of the day, it comes down to it happened, and we need to figure out who is responsible for that, in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah. Just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Hi, Firestarter. Hi, Beach Girl.
Victoria, unique. Oh, Wayne's
Victoria.
daughter's in here. Hey, girl.
Oh, hi.
Shout out to
um,
Wayne. Like, he's the one who got me like following this.
yeah, I've been popping in Wayne's as I can.
Hey,
Angel Eyes is
Angel.
here. um, but yeah, I don't know. Crystal, do you have any thoughts after watching Closing Arguments?
I think they're gonna come back probably with a hung jury.
Yeah,
Oh, you
That's my
think?
thoughts. I
I
think
think so.
so.
I'm mixed. I feel like so I did take some notes, and basically what we obviously saw from the prosecution side is they one moment, hold on, let me pull up my notes 1 second.
Hmm.
Also, I don't know if you guys saw this, but juror in seat 18 is the force person. It's an older white female. They call her the grandmother. So
Oh.
um, she's the four-person. And the final jury
Hmm.
makeup is 9 women, 3 men,
Yep.
which I thought was interesting. Okay, so not a mention of experts were in the prosecution's closing arguments. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I feel like because she didn't do that, was she didn't want to create any reasonable doubt in
Mm,
her closing argument. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but she didn't once bring up any sort of expert into the case.
yeah.
So I feel like she was very cautious on how she closed it and wrapped it up like a little bow, like her hair. Like she literally keeps wearing those stupid bows. Um,
Hmm.
Nothing against her. I just can't stand
Yeah.
that she's wearing bows
The
into
bows.
the courtroom. But
Yep.
Right.
yeah, I feel like she definitely tried to tie that up really, really tight without having any question or reasonable doubt in there.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it was interesting. Again, it's one of those things where I also do want to bring up the part with the police. Like, I find it interesting how we've had now in 2 years, pretty much, well, 2 trials, I'm going to say, first with Karen Reed, now with Lindsay, how it's interesting how there seems to be either corruption or just something weird going on with the police and kind of this like boys club of being able to use the police to maybe your advantage. Um, and I know that that's kind of off topic from what we're going to talk about today, but I just find that part interesting. In Massachusetts, to have that happen twice is weird. Hi, everyone in the chat. Hey, guys, welcome in.
Yeah,
Um,
and
yeah.
do you guys think that they came anywhere close to proving that she knew the difference between right and wrong? Because I feel in that moment, because I feel like I think that's something really hard to note, is to prove that she knew what she was doing was wrong in that moment.
Mhm.
But I guess like them trying to say like, okay, well, she called the restaurant and um, she got the order correct. She knew how to order her food. She knew to call her husband. So I guess that's what they're trying to put in our minds, to say like, okay, she knew what she was doing in that moment. And they also are trying to say like how she took the lives of the children also was part of it, if that makes sense. Like how she did it, because one, like the reason she did the first person's because she thought it was going to cause more of a struggle, and so on and so forth.
I think they did a good
Yeah.
job on trying to prove it. Because I think that she was, in my opinion, I think that she kind of knew what she was doing. And my thoughts on that are, I mean, she even had like the markings around her neck. So, I mean, she was, why did she stop then? Like, why didn't she just take herself out and leave those babies alone?
Yeah.
I think she was doing it more so to hurt her husband, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Because he
Yeah.
was, ignoring her or cheating or
Mhm.
whatever. I think she was trying to hurt him. And
Yeah.
that's just my honest to goodness opinion. So if it doesn't come back hung, I think it'll come back probably guilty, but not responsible or whatever. They'll probably put her in the
Mhm.
Yeah.
house or whatever. Because either way, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, she did kill her 3 children.
A
Yeah.
100%.
And how is she able to live with herself knowing
Mhm.
that fact,
Yeah.
regardless of how she was at that moment?
Well, and I
And
think in
go
that
ahead.
moment, sorry, Michelle, but I was just going to say, I do think it's also one of those unfortunate things that you were kind of hinting at, Crystal, where it's the perfect storm of a lot of mental health issues, what seems like personal issues, marital issues, and then just the day to day of not even issues, but being a mom and struggling. I'm not a mom. I never will be, but I know that it's really hard, especially having 3 kids, one of them being really young. That's a hard life. And I think it was just a perfect storm where a lot of things came together. And I do think that probably caused her to have this episode, and how we're saying, was it intentional, or did she know what she was doing in that moment? Who's to say, really? But I think it's interesting to me how she was saying to one of the psychologists or one of the doctors that she knew that she was having these thoughts where it was a voice telling her to kill the children. But if you're able to know that after the fact, then that means it's coming and going. So it could have just been the quickest moment ever where she went ahead and did that. And then moments after, it, she came to. Um,
But that's 3 children, though. If
yeah,
she was
that is
coming
true.
and going, it would have just been
Yeah.
like 1 child.
Well, I
There
mean, like
also
an
had to be a
episode,
plan
like
and
15 minutes.
state, and I also think like, and I have this written down. I do think the doctors failed to diagnose her properly, and all that
Mhm.
made me super angry, because I do feel like that is put to the side a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, and I think of the healthcare system in general and the dismissal of mental health. But I do think the jury is going to struggle with the steps she took to do what she did. Because, like I said before, although you can function under psychosis, I think the steps to calling Patrick, calling the food in, I think that's going to weigh heavily on the jury, because they're going to know, like, okay, but in psychosis, like, wouldn't she have more been in like a trance of not knowing the steps that she should have been following, to be like, okay, I'm not even worried about calling Patrick or calling the food in. I'm going
Mhm.
to do X, Y, and Z. It almost kind of seems, the way that they presented it, premeditated.
Mhm. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's
There's
exactly what
yeah.
the Storb said too.
Mhm.
Premeditated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Um,
Disturb.
Hey, disturbed.
Saw him in the chat a moment ago. Yeah.
I also feel like the dad is also responsible, because he should have taken the kids out, gotten her help. There's ways to just have her committed.
Mhm.
Um, I just don't think. And then with all that money too, like if she was struggling that bad, why didn't she have like a nanny or something, or somebody there to help take some of that burden off? And then with the doctors, what you were saying about the doctors, Michelle, I totally agree. That Seroquel that they also prescribed her, is almost like a tranquilizer.
Yes.
And why in the hell would they prescribe that to a mother with 3 children at
Yeah.
home, like knowing that she takes care of them and she is responsible for these 3 kids? Why would they prescribe that?
Mhm. Yeah. Do you think like that's another interesting thing because correct me if I'm wrong, she also was working during this time. So, right? I'm not wrong in saying that.
I believe so.
Yeah, so that's
Not a-
interesting to me too because I know that there's been a lot to do about why was she working during this or like why was the husband making her work, but that is also interesting, Crystal. Like why wasn't there someone to help when she wasn't working to give her a break? Like I don't know that they were managing this whole situation correct between her and the husband and clearly she was having moments where she was clear-headed. I feel so how are you not thinking to yourself, "Oh, I'm having these bad thoughts. I need to get in a nanny." I need to get assistance here. And how is the dad not thinking that too? The husband. So I just think that's really unfortunate because that's part of it where it's like this whole thing could have been avoided. And back to what Michelle said, if we took mental health more seriously, we wouldn't have gotten into this situation. You see so many problems happening in this country and things going from 0 to 100 really fast because people's mental health isn't being managed over years at a time.
And also, she could have potentially been thinking it as like, maybe she always knew she wanted to take her own personal life, but maybe she
Mhm.
didn't want to go out of this world without her children being with her. So maybe that was her whole game plan. Maybe she didn't expect, and this is just my thoughts, like maybe she didn't expect to
Mhm.
survive what she did, but she wanted
Yeah.
to leave this world, but she wanted to leave this world with her children as well. I
Mm.
just don't foresee the reason of her wanting to take the kids out and then her own life. Like, what is the end game of that? Like, what would be your reasoning beyond not really wanting your children to live in this world without you? I mean, because some people can think like that, where they're like, I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't want this person to, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's,
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand like the process of where her mind was in that moment. But like I said, I did read this saying that she didn't expect to face the consequences. She expected to die. Sprague says the order in which she strangled the children was deliberate and rational. She brings up Lindsay's Facebook post about Dawson and strangling him first because she knew he might struggle. Sprague describes Dawson's face turning blue, and an older female juror looks down and closes her eyes.
Hmm.
And Lindsay was crying in this moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's not surprising. I, well, I don't know. I mean, you still can grieve, but like you said, Michelle, I do think it's interesting and what Crystal said earlier, but possibly is it that she's trying to punish the husband for whatever's going on? And she thought, I'm going to kill the kids and then kill myself. But I saw in the chat, someone did say, you know, she was a nurse. Why did she not know how to kill herself? Or, for example, why didn't she take the pills? She had a drug cabinet full of pills that she
Yeah,
could
she
just
could have done
overdose
Yeah.
that as
on.
maybe she
Or,
wanted it to be done fast before he got
yeah,
home, like, and he could like pump her stomach potentially. I think this was
yeah.
all like very thought out.
Do y'all
Mhm.
think maybe she was doing it to set her husband up?
That I don't
Mm.
know.
That's another part because I know that there's the weird part with the Google searches too, which is why a lot of the people think the husband is the guilty one. Because when she was searching something like how to take your own life, it was while she was at the doctor's office with the kids, allegedly. So I think that's, I don't know. Now that we're talking about this, I'm starting to change my mind again.
Yeah, I
But
mean, she could have easily put those pills, like somebody else was saying, because that was a very valid and very good point.
mhm,
That she could have easily given those kids the pills and gave herself them, afterward,
mhm,
and they all would have, passed on together if
yeah,
that was her intent, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is
mhm,
But
true.
she chose to strangle them.
mhm,
Mm.
So to me, I don't feel that um she knew what she was doing. And I
yeah,
kind of feel like she might have been trying to set her husband up. And if
mhm,
not so, she's like, well, this lady is not going to have, access to my kids, or you don't deserve to be around our kids.
That's
mhm,
Um,
true.
and so she just wants to end their lives. And
yeah,
another thing, like she was crying in this moment. I mean, think about if you even hurt somebody like that, you are going to be emotional mess for years, like
mhm,
a normal person. Um, the fact that she's even able to sit through this trial and not be crying the entire time is beyond me.
Yeah, that is true. Or to have a come to moment where you,
Realize.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I think you bring up a good point about the part where it's like, I don't know, is it premeditated or not? Because in my head, I'm like, if someone were to premeditate that, I would think she'd plan a time where the husband would be gone for such a long time that the drugs could set in and kill all of them. But killing people with the band is obviously going to be quicker, and allowed her to plan for the husband to be gone for a certain amount of time, use the band, and then still try to take her own life. So I think that's what's scary, is now I'm wondering, was it premeditated? I'm curious to know if everyone in the chat thinks, was it premeditated, or was it just a spur of the moment kind of mental health psychosis moment? And again, we don't want to talk lightly about the mental health part at all. I know Crystal, Michelle, and I all agree on that part.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
because, like, in general with doctors, also, hello, Roxanne,
Hi,
Denise,
Roxanne, Denise.
Rat Dog Mama, everyone in the chat. Oh, Beach Girl.
Hi, Rat Dog Mama.
I do want to just point out doctors in general right now. Like, even if you have something, not just mental health, like, even if you have an issue going on, say you need to get to a specialist, like a stomach doctor or anyone in that sense, like, it takes so long just to get an appointment with someone. And the care of it is when you do get there, you're really just kind of like looked at, quickly checked. I don't feel as if anyone was actually looking into any of her medications. I feel like they were kind of just re-prescribing her different things and mixing things, not giving her any sort of, pass at that, because what she did was like beyond wrong. And she obviously, you did the crime, you need to be punished for it. But I do think her doctors have also failed her.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that needs to be pointed out here as well. I think that's huge, especially, I'm not a mom. I don't know what, what it's like after birth. I know that, you have all those emotions, and you can go to those postpartum blues and depression. And she could have been hurting real bad. And I'm not saying she did not have a mental, like, defect or something going on that we're not aware of, but to take your baby's lives, like, it's just hard for me to comprehend that.
So I agree with you 1000%. Like, the postpartum is something that some mothers go through. I had it with my first. But the what is it? Postpartum psychosis. The psychosis part, I think, was because of all the cocktail of medication she was on. I think that's what caused that. So I agree with you there. Some of those doctors should be thoroughly looked into.
Yeah.
Just because they should have, like, they were only doing like 5 and 7 days at a time. And Max, I also just emailed you a list of the medications she took.
Oh, I'll share it. I just saw that, actually. I'll pull it up. So keep talking, but
yeah. So that cocktail of medication, it can do one of two things. It can either make you sleep all of the time, or it can make you not be able to sleep at all, and that can put you in psychosis. But
it's almost like, what is her quality of life though now? Do you know what I mean? Like, she's paralyzed, right. She's in a wheelchair. No matter where she goes, whether it's in jail or she stays in a hospital the rest of her life, like, her life is over.
Right.
So it just, like, I'm trying to understand, like, what was her, like, game plan for this, for afterwards? You know what I mean? What did you want your life to look like?
Well, you almost think, is that God punishing her for what she did?
Yeah.
Whatever you believe in.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
And I hate to, again, I don't know why it feels almost hard to speculate and point the finger, because I don't want to discount her mental health issues and what was going on. But in a way, I do think, hi, Mark, how are you? But I do just, want to say, like, I do think she did it, and that's a disgusting crime, and justice will be served on this earth or the next. So,
like I said, one way or another, she did it. She's guilty.
Yeah,
in
100%.
my opinion.
And like, you did the crime, you have to pay. You have to You
Yeah.
have to pay up for it. That's
So
it.
now
Mhm.
you can be in your wheelchair, half paralyzed or whatever, and also be thinking about your 3 babies for
Mhm.
every second for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would have thought, like you said, 3 babies, like, it would have stopped at some point. Like, maybe, you take the life of your first child, and then you would have snapped out. I don't know. The whole thing is just it's hard to add up in our minds.
Mhm.
All 3, exactly. That is the key to me.
Yeah. And I think that's the part about it where it's like, is this premeditated? Because to know that you could do that, I couldn't do that to one person, but to know in your head, okay, I think I could do this to one person and then I could take out the other. To like, you really have to be into it almost, I feel like, or set on doing that as the other ones are telling you to stop or starting to understand what's going on as they're fighting back at you, whatever else is going on in that moment to try and snap you out of that. I don't know, but I don't know that also they did the best job of bringing in the best professionals on this case to really talk about playing out scenarios and seeing what it maybe could look like in that moment to snap you out of psychosis or what would happen there. But it's interesting. I mean, this list of medications is just extensive and
Extensive, and they were
yeah,
mixed with each other, or like she
yeah,
wasn't really on them long enough, I feel like, to really give it,
hmm,
like, before they swap things out, if that makes any sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
I just saw something pop up. It says the jury was riveted during the defense closing. No bullshit. I think a juror in second row was having difficult time to keep her eyes open towards the end of the Sprague's closing.
wow,
Everyone likes to report on the jurors, and we love to see it, but the reality is nobody knows what's inside of their heads. That is true,
hmm,
because it's like you have people that are closing their eyes, or they're looking away, or they feel like they can't. With I'm we're just so curious to see where this jury takes us. Will they all
yeah,
come to the same conclusion on this? I don't think, like we're all saying, everyone could have a different opinion on whether they feel as if Lindsay is guilty or not guilty, but at the end of the day, she committed the crime.
hmm,
So I don't think that is going to be hard for the jury to come to the conclusion, like, okay, yes, she committed this crime, but is it going to be, in what sense, I guess you could say.
yeah. Well, that's the thing because I think also a lot of people on like social media now have gotten this confused. The trial is not to look at did she do it or did she not? It's to look at did she do it because of mental health issues and she should be kind of exonerated from whatever, I don't know if exonerate is the right word in this context, but did she do it because of her mental health issues or did she do it sound of mind, knowing what she was doing and it's murder? Because that I guess is really what to say. And that's what I think the three of us are saying. We do think that she did it, but was it because of her mental health issues or because she had premeditated and wanted to commit the crime?
And to your point, Max, when you were saying, doing all 3, like you would have, she would like, they would be fighting back or something like that.
Hmm.
It's almost like a blackout. Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody's fighting, if someone is fighting back,
The
sorry,
doggies.
if somebody is fighting back, usually that is enough to trigger you, like to wake you up, to
Hmm.
bring you back.
Oh, yeah.
She was able to do all 3.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
just, the 3, I mean, I'm telling you, like that to me is just,
I mean, even just to hear your child screaming or see their facial expression change, the fact that that wouldn't activate some part of your mom brain. And I
right.
don't know, maybe that's again from postpartum depression with everything going on that it wouldn't activate that. But it's interesting to me how I guess it didn't turn her off from this aggression. Like there was no come to. And I've seen people get into really rageful fits and be aggressive and things like that, but there's normally a moment that sends them back into themselves and gets them um out of that feeling. And that's what's scary, the fact that there wasn't anything like that. Um
Yeah, and that's the
yeah.
issue too. It's just like she did this, like, no matter what people think about mental health. And yes,
Hmm.
like we're saying, even that, like you said, Max, those doctors need to be looked at,
Yeah.
because I think doctors in general should be looked at for prescribing the amount of medication that they described to her. And a lot of them weren't chatting with each other. Like I did notice that when they were calling them up to the stand, a lot of them didn't look at what the others were prescribing. And I'm like, how is that
Hmm.
even a thing? Do you know what I know?
Yeah.
Yes. And like I said, I completely agree that she committed this
Yeah.
crime.
None of us are questioning that. If there's any confusion that she did the crime, we're trying to figure out what this trial is figuring out, which is, did she do it because of mental health issues, or did she do
Yeah,
it
those poor
because
kids,
it
they
was
lost their
premeditated?
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, premeditated, and we're just saying that also those doctors are disgusting for the amount of medication that they prescribed to her, because if there was a chance that she could have been locked up and like taken away and put into some sort of like rehab or something, it could have potentially, or seeing that she was like an unfit mother or something, whereas like Patrick potentially could have taken the kids and
Hmm.
removed custody. I don't know what the legalities of that are, but if she's searching things on the internet about mental health, like, and like, I believe she said to someone that she had thoughts about hurting her children. I could be mistaken for that, but
She
if that
did
was even
twice. Yeah.
discussed, then
Hmm.
like she should not be around her children. Like, you should not
Yeah.
have no.
I believe
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, those kids
Uh-huh.
lives could have been saved, and especially if Patrick knew that this was going to be an issue, or like he knew his wife was suffering. Why not go send her away somewhere and take your children out of that harm? Because
Hmm.
everyone's like, she was such a great mom, she was dedicated. It's just there, we
Hmm.
could have saved those 3 kids' lives.
And I also, oh, I lost my train of thought. But what you're saying, Michelle, too, about it is like, well, I was thinking of a school shooting, for example. Why are you going and hurting other people? If you need to do that, like how she wanted to kill herself, clearly, why are you hurting other people? Just kill yourself. I just don't think it's fair to others to go in and cause other harm. She did not need to go and harm her children. Her children could have had a life. I'm sure they would have been traumatized from losing their mother. There was no need to kill them.
I
Yeah.
said the same
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
and I don't know, again, I don't want to be controversial in what I'm saying, but that's just my thoughts. I just don't understand why you would need to hurt other people. Same thing, like I said, with a school shooting. Why is it that you're having a moment or whatever's going on and you feel the need to take it out on others? I don't
Someone
know.
just asked why she's in a wheelchair. So she attempted suicide by jumping out of her window. She
Hmm.
cut herself, but from the fall, I believe she did something to her spinal cord and she got extensive injuries where she's no longer able to walk. I believe she's
Yeah.
paralyzed from the waist down, correct?
Yeah. She did almost pass away. She
Yeah.
got close to it. Do you want me to share that graphic, Michelle, that
Ooh,
I
I
had
don't
made?
know. What do you guys think? Is that like,
It's not
Show
the
it.
Wait, it's not a graphic. It's like not graphic image. It's like the timeline,
oh, I
the
thought it was going
evidence.
to be her in
No.
the hospital, because I did see
Uh-uh.
that and I was like, I can't look at that again. That was
No,
terrible.
sorry. I didn't see that also, so I don't know. But Domsey, first of all, hi Domsey. I don't think any of us said hi
Hey,
when you came in. But
Hey,
Domsey.
Dom's been in the chat.
Dempsey.
We love
Hey,
you.
Sully, Mark, Denise, Brad, Beamer Girl, Stray Cat,
Hi
everyone who's in
everyone.
here, Carolina, Beach Girl, Adele, everyone who's popping in.
Hey
Um,
everyone. Welcome
yeah, we
in.
wanted to take a little break from the Nancy case and hop on to the Lindsay Clancy trial. I've been listening to it daily because Wayne, We Investigates, has been covering it every day. As I'm working, I'm listening. And so we're waiting. We're waiting to see what the jury decides. And I'm curious for everyone in the chat, do you guys think we're going to come to some sort of conclusion today? Do you think the jury's going to come to a verdict, or do you think we're going to be on verdict watch for the next few days?
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, I would hope that we'd have an answer at least prior to tomorrow afternoon, because then we'd have to wait the entire weekend. And in my head, I just also hope that the jury's thinking, let's not leave this hanging for too long. There's no need to draw out the justice for these children and for everyone involved. It's just not fair. And it's just a horrible thing. So I think they need to just make a decision on what's going to happen. Yeah, Lake Life, I kind of agree with that. If she did,
Yeah.
self-exit Lindsay, then she would have not had to hurt the children, which I think is just really disappointing that other lives ended up being
It
taken.
was
And again,
selfish.
yeah,
It was
uh-huh,
very selfish. Like I said, I think she took the babies out with, like, planning to take them out with her on purpose to say, like, no one's
yeah,
going to be another mom to them. And that's just my personal thought on it. Like, you take
hmm,
3 innocent lives with you, like, take your own life and get
yeah.
out of here.
It sounds
Exactly.
like she was hurting and she wanted to make everyone else hurt too. Just like the school shooters you
Yes.
brought up earlier. They're usually
Yeah.
in so much pain that they want to inflict that pain on others.
hmm Yeah, and Zoe makes a good point in the chat saying that we need to be civilized and to everything scrambled up in this country. I think it is systematic where it's just unfortunate where you see things going on where people feel desperate enough to commit crimes. For example, in the Nancy case, or people are sick in the head and do things like this, or people try and cover things up. There's not mental health support. There's just a lot of issues going on. And I just hope that people will get the help that they need. And I mean, even we see it on here being on the internet, those trolls, all of those people need mental health help. And I don't know that they're getting it because they're sick in the head. And the fact that there's people walking around who feel comfortable saying crazy things on the internet is truly scary.
Cora,
So,
Dawson, Callan. Can you highlight that, Max? I think we just need to keep their names
yes.
out there as well today.
Yes, I
I'm
love
also
that.
just curious, this is so sidetracked. I'm just curious, like, how Patrick was able to kind of like, he seemed so put together on the stand. Like, how is he able to really move on from that? Like, how do you take that where your 3 children were taken from your wife tried to commit suicide on herself. She's now paralyzed in a wheelchair. You're remarried to someone who looks like her. I don't know. I'm just also trying to figure out his side of it as well. Like, I can't imagine getting up and being able to just go on with my life like that. You know what I mean? It's scary.
Well, and that's the reason why there's a lot of the suspicion on him. Again, not saying he did it, but I'm just saying it is interesting that when, Crystal and I have been saying this, was there something else that we don't know about that wasn't even said on the stand that was going on? Because he's pretty much moved on. He has that, I don't know if it's new wife or new partner, and they've gone on trips and whatnot. So there's kind of other things behind the scenes going
And she
on.
looks like her too, which is a little odd to me. Again, everyone mourns so differently. Everyone deals with grief differently. I just know, like, I mean, I don't even know how I would act in that situation, but to me, I just want to point that out. That was just a little odd.
I think though that the reason why he had so much composure in that moment is because he wanted to make sure that the jury heard every word that he said clearly so that they could so that he could actually get his point across. Although I think that he is responsible in a way because he wasn't, I mean, you had to know that your wife was on all that medication. You just had to know. And you left her there alone with the children, period, even for 5 minutes. And, she needed inpatient help, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
But,
for a long time.
Yeah. So maybe
she needs to be put away. And like, also I feel like her doctors and her husband should have known, like, your mental state was not in a good situation. You know what I mean? Like, you should have been taken away.
Yeah.
And your children could have potentially had a chance to live their lives.
And I agree, Disturbed. He is saying he is not guilty for moving on. And we can't judge how he is grieving.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. I just had to say it because I'm like, from the photos, I was like, it is weird how much they look alike.
Yeah,
it is. But I agree. I think if you find it all depends on when you find someone too. And he might have been hurting so bad that he needed love.
Right.
But I mean, losing your children, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And who's to say, again, I think that's what the thing is. It's like you just kind of have to look at all possibilities and analyze everything. So who's really to say? But when you're chatting about these things, I think it's important just to mention everything, like get the broad spectrum. Hi, Brenda.
Yeah, the doctors need to be evaluated Summary Wednesday.
Yeah.
They need to be all looked at. And I feel like doctors across the board should be reevaluated, not just in the mental health. Like I said, if you have an issue like going on, like I need to go to a stomach doctor not so long ago. And it took me like 2 months just to get an appointment with them. And by the time the appointment came, it's like you're either had to go to a hospital or what you were going through passed. Like, thankfully, whatever I had going on passed on. But it makes you think, like, doctors in general, it's hard to find a good one and one that actually cares.
Yeah. I just think everyone's so overworked. It's like even the good doctors are so overworked and overscheduled and dealing with people. I think after COVID, people, like as patients, have lost a lot of decorum. Like they come into the doctor's offices and act like it's their house, or they act all crazy. You have Karens running around like wild. Um, and so that's why I think that's another issue. It's not helping what's going on. It's just really bad circumstances at all levels. It's a bad circle of life. So.
Ooh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
baby bear.
Oh, I'm
That's
so sorry, baby
horrible.
bear. That's terrible. Um,
Yep, someone said the jury has been deliberating for 1 hour. No questions have come up. They haven't been called back
mhm,
into the courtroom for any questions. Hopefully, their paperwork was made very clear on what they're. I mean, I don't know. To me, if they have no questions by the end of the day, maybe they're all pretty close to deciding. What do you guys
mhm.
think?
I would
I,
hope so. I mean, again, you said, Michelle, just from reading facial expressions, we don't know what's actually going on with the jury. So maybe they're just going to get in there and eventually figure it out. I hope so.
fingers crossed that we do have an answer today, though.
Yeah.
That
But
needs to be ended.
I kind of feel like the ones that are going to sleep, they already have their minds made up.
hmm
I feel like
Yeah.
that's why they're able to just go ahead and give their decision.
hmm
So I'm thinking that they might have an answer today.
I would
At the
hope
end of the day,
And
so.
if
they probably
not, by
just want
tomorrow.
this to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Brenda, it's me. It's Crystal's crime board girl.
So these
Or
are
Crystal.
so this is,
Hi,
it would
Tabitha.
be guilty of first or second degree murder, guilty of manslaughter, not guilty by reason of insanity, or hung jury. Um,
Hmm.
I'm wondering if people think, would you guys think they'd say not guilty by reason of insanity? I personally feel like it's been pushed past that though, because people have come to, like, 3 children have lost their lives. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But again, you don't know the minds of the jurors.
hmm I mean, I don't know.
I have
I
to
don't
say, and
know.
most people, because I wanted to read the poll to see what most people voted on. 11% said guilty of first or second degree murder. 8% said guilty of manslaughter. 44% said not guilty by reason of insanity. 37% said hung jury. So
This is where?
that's
I'm sorry, I don't know if I heard
Oh,
where
I'm
this
looking
was.
at Brianna Whitney's. She
Oh,
put up
okay.
from Crime Junkie. She put up a
Yeah.
survey just to see what the outcomes they think we're going to have. So
hmm
most of them, 44% said not guilty by reason of insanity. 37% people said hung jury. Um,
Wow. So most people think she's not guilty, is what that says, right?
that's what I'm saying.
That's interesting. I think, again,
And
there's been
people
a
are,
shift on social media where people don't seem to think she's guilty.
Oh, it's
Or
been that
excuse
way.
me.
It's been
Yeah.
completely divided.
Yeah.
Completely divided, I think.
That's how everything is these days, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But again, I think people are losing the point that the trial is about, is she guilty because of insanity or guilty because of premeditated? And that's what the question is. I don't, did we want me to share that graphic thing that I had, by the way? Or did
yeah. Do
anyone
you
Yes,
have
want to
anything?
share
please.
it?
Yeah, why
Yes,
not?
please.
I just think it's helpful because I do see Tina, hi Tina in the chat, but people, I also have been seeing a lot of people saying like they haven't been following this. And I know that's sort of how I felt because I've been so obsessed with the Nancy case that I haven't looked. Oops, sorry, I'm just waiting for it to pull up
Yeah, and I
too
just
much
read
into
something
this.
else too that says a lot of people are wondering if Lindsay even cares about this verdict of what happens, because she's been on 24/7 suicide watch for over 3 years. Um,
Hmm.
and that's what I was just saying, like, what is her quality of life, or what is her life moving forward?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, I
does she
don't
even
know.
care what's happening to her? Like, does she even care what the outcome's going to be from this?
I mean, living in a prison in a wheelchair, I cannot imagine that is a great living in prison to begin with. But again, you killed your kids and you made your bed and now lay in it. So I don't know. This is just an overview of everything. It kind of, I use the Nancy template that Michelle had. That's been like the first one. Michelle, remember?
Yeah, that was honestly their health. They're very
Yeah.
helpful because you go through so much evidence and so much
Yeah.
time has passed on. And I also have a list too.
why don't I summarize going off
Yeah,
of,
go right through.
okay, hold on one moment. I guess we don't need to, we'll just go through this quickly. But obviously, we're chatting about Lindsay Clancy. If anyone's new, welcome in. She lived in Duxbury with her Massachusetts. Also, the town names in Massachusetts are just so odd, Duxbury. But Duxbury is a more affluent town. I used to live in Massachusetts, and it was more affluent, with her husband Patrick and their 3 children. She struggled with severe mental health issues, including postpartum depression and psychosis. As we saw, she was on a long list of medications. She had gone to many, many mental health professionals and doctors, but unfortunately, they couldn't find a way to make her feel better. On January 24th, 2023, she killed her 3 children and then attempted suicide by jumping from a second-story window. She is now paralyzed. She's in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down. The defense and what this trial is looking at is saying that her postpartum psychosis made her insane at the time, which would basically mean that it would be a different result. So the charges being looked at are 3 counts of murder, first degree. If convicted, she faces life in prison without parole. Again, probably deserves that. The timeline is Patrick Clancy leaves the home to pick up food and medication. So he left, he went, and he was getting takeout at 4:00 p.m. Lindsay and Patrick exchanged photos and messages. Patrick says she was in one of her best moods. 4:30 p.m., which is also just so scary. You're in your best mood prior to killing your children.
I feel like probably because she felt like a sense of relief coming if this was premeditated, to be like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing in order to make myself feel better, or like, I'm going to be at ease soon.
Yeah. No, that's actually probably true, Michelle. And to also know he's leaving and she'll have time to do it, probably she felt a little bit better. So 30 minutes later, he leaves the house again and she's left alone with the 3 children. And then at some point between 4:30 and 5:00 p.m., she uses exercise bands. Here they are. They're basically different sizes of bands. But this is another weird thing that I saw, that apparently her fingerprints, they weren't able to find it anywhere on the band. Did you guys hear about that part?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's again why a lot of people think she might be innocent, because there's no fingerprints. I'm not monitoring the chat, so Michelle or Crystal, if anyone's saying anything that
Yep,
you want.
I'm reading.
Okay. But that's an interesting point. I'm curious if anyone knows maybe why her fingerprints would not be on the bands, because if she used them, I would
Especially
assume.
to strangle, yeah.
Yeah, I would assume her fingerprints would be on it, but I know that it's an elastic material. So maybe it's the way that if it stretches, it wouldn't get a perfect print or something. I don't know. At 5:00 p.m., so this is after she unfortunately kills the 3 children, she attempted suicide by jumping from the window. She was paralyzed. 5:15, Patrick returns home and finds her outside. He then sees what happens to the children. I don't even want to picture what that would look like. That's just so terrible and sad. 5:22 p.m., Patrick calls 911. The 911 call was played for the jury. And then the paramedics and police came. They did take Lindsay to the hospital where she was treated for life-threatening injuries, but unfortunately the 3 children could not be resuscitated and were all pronounced dead. Looking at the case again, we have the exercise bands, which were used to strangle the children. Her phone and Apple Watch data have been important in the trial because her phone has the messages between her and Patrick. And
calling in the food.
Yeah. And the other interesting part, or not interesting, but evidence, is that there was searches from the, I believe it's the family laptop or the family desktop. We don't mention that here, but about suicide methods, strangling, different medication, just a lot of things related to the case. The children's bedroom where the incident took place, where the murder, second story window where Lindsay did jump out, attempting to self-exit, and then the journals and her notes. And also there was a lot of like things that they brought in, which is always interesting in a trial to see. Like, we all have these weird things, these little things in our life that you don't think are really going to be of any consequence ever. But for example, her, is it like baby keepsake books were a part of it, because they were saying, how could she have a baby keepsake book and be mentally insane? Or if she has the baby keepsake book, she obviously wouldn't want to kill the children. So she was in a mental psychosis. You can look at it both ways for defense and prosecution. But there was a lot of like papers and different information that they've been using. I'll go through quickly the mental health history. She struggled with suicidal thoughts, hallucinations, intrusive thoughts, delusions, paranoia, anxiety, severe sleep deprivation. And she did also tell the healthcare people that She had intrusive thoughts about killing herself, killing the children. She was hearing voices. And she mentioned that to her mom as well. Crystal showed us a huge list of medications. And Crystal, what did you say? Would the medication either put her fully to sleep or put her to be like
Fully
super
up.
hyper?
Yeah,
Fully
she would
up? Okay.
easily either be all the way asleep or not be able to sleep at all.
Okay. Yeah. So either way, whichever cocktail she was on at that point, she was coherent enough to do this. The defense argues that Lindsay was suffering, and this is again what the trial's looking at. The trial is looking at, was she mentally insane and that's why she did this, or was she not and it was premeditated and it's first-degree murder? The defense argues that she was suffering from the postpartum psychosis. She had an 8-month-old, so 8 months prior, the youngest child had been born, and she had been struggling with postpartum psychosis and mental health issues from it. There was a male voice commanding her to kill the children and then herself. And she could not understand that her actions were wrong. So they argue that she didn't know what she was doing at the time. And even though she did it and she admitted to it, she wasn't sure what had happened in the moment. And that's what made her do it. The prosecution argues that she was mentally ill, but she still knew right from wrong. She created the opportunity to be alone with their children and intentionally killed them. Her actions were organized and purposeful, not the result of psychosis. So, looking at two different sides of it. And where we are now, we've heard the closing arguments. The jury is deliberating. We don't have a verdict. People are torn. What do they think is going to happen? As Michelle just told us, 44% of a what was that?
Poll was basically saying, yeah, that she's not guilty.
Yeah.
And I also put together kind of just like an overall, like kind of piggybacking with Max's great chart of how it went down with the closing arguments. So basically, it's one question. It's going to be, did she understand what she was doing wrong? Could she control her actions, or was she experiencing?
Sorry, guys. I'm just getting a call. I'm just going to hop off for one moment.
Okay. Postpartum psychosis, mental disease that prevented her from doing so. So the jury itself has to decide, was it first-degree murder, second-degree murder, manslaughter, or not guilty because of mental disease / defect? The key point is that even if the jury finds mental impairment, it must consider whether Lindsay understood the wrongfulness of her conduct and or could conform her behavior to the law. So I think that's a big question here. Is I think they're using her mental state as a fact to say that she didn't know what she was doing. Kevin Reddington said she was in psychosis. This was not a calculated murder by a rational woman. The defense argues Lindsay was severely mentally ill and suffering from postpartum psychosis. He argues that she experienced hallucinations, delusions, and loss of control. And the mental illness prevent her from being criminally responsible? That's a question that everyone has. But to me, and like everyone in the chat and all of us chatting, we know what she did was wrong and she should be obviously punished for that. The medical care argument was they're saying that she repeatedly asked for help. Her mental health was deteriorating. She was prescribed multiple medications, is what we were just chatting about, what Crystal showed. Defense argues providers failed to recognize an escalating psychiatric emergency. And they're saying her history as a mother, that she was a great mother to her kids. She was devoted. They showed photographs of her. It's really sad going through all this, talking about her intrusive thoughts. She disclosed disturbing thoughts of family members. She expressed suicidal thoughts. Again, why wouldn't the family and her husband and everyone else like put her away if she's telling them that she was repeatedly telling people she was frightened by her own thoughts and consistent with a secret rational murder plan? I don't know. What do you guys think? I know then Jennifer went in and basically was saying she was suffering, but she's still responsible. I think that is our end note here. And I think that's what she wanted to end this case with, that she was suffering, but she is responsible for taking those 3 beautiful children's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs to pay for that.
Yeah.
And like they said, she can control her behavior. Prosecution argues Lindsay could be depressed, suicidal, mentally unwell, while still knowing right from wrong. The point to her interactions with her children and activities earlier in January is an evidence of behavior control. Yes, she wanted help, but she should still know that what she did was incredibly wrong and we think that she still had that mental capacity to understand that. Like we're saying, she called Patrick, she ordered food that evening, she timed things out perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, like, she had to have been aware because she waited until he was out of the house. She could have done it, you
Yes.
know, while he was
Yeah.
asleep or whatever.
True.
And then she also went to lock the door. I mean, like, if
Mm.
she's that,
Yeah.
she knew what she was doing,
Yeah. No, that is true,
in my
Crystal.
opinion. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, and like Mistrial 420 said, if my daughter came to me and said, I feel like I can harm my kids, I would be with her 24/7 until she got better. And I think that's also like the question too. Like, we're not questioning what she did was wrong. We keep saying that, but I think there was other elements to this by potentially preventing the loss of those 3 children, of keeping her away from those kids. Her family should, I guess, have taken her more serious. And I'm wondering if they didn't because they thought, like, okay, well, she's a healthcare provider herself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she's in the field, like, she knows what she should be doing. Um,
Yeah.
I'm at a loss for words because overall, this is such an extremely sad case. But even like comparing this to like the Nancy case, like another case that we've been covering, you have Lindsay Clancy. We know that she is guilty of this murder of her 3 children. For Nancy, we still do not know who is behind her kidnapping, potential homicide.
Yeah.
It's and those are 2 separate situations where they're both super hard, super sad losses, and it's I don't know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
at a loss for words.
Either way, she has to live the rest of her life without a
Yeah.
Yes,
family.
exactly.
And just my thoughts and prayers go out to those beautiful, beautiful children that are in heaven, and
Mm-hmm.
the family who loved them. But I feel like between the husband, the family, and the doctors, they failed the children.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's
Multiple family
heartbreaking.
members too. It's not
Yes.
just her. I
Yeah.
know that we're placing a majority of the blame on her.
Well, she did it. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like who shot the gun or whatever that saying is. But um, at the same time, you have to look at it like I don't know that I trust someone's telling me I'm struggling in this way and feel okay with that. Multiple people knew. And again, it's one of those things where you look at, if you tell your therapist or someone, oh, I'm going to hurt myself, the therapist is liable to report that,
Yeah.
and to keep checking in on you. So why were people not taking her seriously? I don't really understand that part, especially because saying I'm going to hurt myself is one thing. Saying I'm going to hurt other people, that's a whole other ball game. And it's really unfortunate that it just wasn't taken seriously and wasn't looked at the way. And yeah, mistrial again, they all failed the children. The children were failed, and it's just really terrible. So yeah.
Yeah. And like we're saying, AJ, like she definitely gets majority of the blame. Like she committed this crime,
Mm-hmm.
but we're saying it for hopes for those children, they should have had more people looking out for them. Her husband probably should have been monitoring her meds a little bit more, knowing that she was on. Imagine knowing your significant other is on that amount of medication. Like I would be so
Yeah.
concerned with, like, I'm monitoring everything you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be taking X, Y, and Z at X, Y, and Z time. Like you want to be there to assist. And I get that probably really hurt their relationship and put a strain on it. So maybe he, like we're saying, maybe he was on his way out before this even happened. Like maybe he knew, like, this ain't right.
Yeah. Jody is saying she didn't take the medicine, which I think is true that some of it she wasn't taking. I don't know how much, if they ever went in and determined that, but I think they were trying to test how many different ones she could take. And I don't think she was doing her part either on trying the different ones.
Lake life is so funny. My grandson just cracked up. He told me he wanted baby balls and hard salami. I'm like, what did you say?
Baby balls? I feel like is that the baby mozzarella with
Yeah,
salami
probably
and
the
Michelle, and I
baby
love
fresh
that.
foods. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I was gonna say, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, Baby Bells. That's what
Baby
it
bell
is.
cheese.
Yum. That comes I haven't had that in a while.
Yeah, me neither. I don't think I've ever had them actually.
Oh, you should.
You should try.
Is it good?
I'm surprised. Yeah, it's pretty good,
They're
Michelle.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yum.
He put it on a cracker with some like carrots or whatever.
A charcuterie board.
Mhm.
I didn't catch the beginning of all this. Did he really have the girlfriend, now wife, through all this? Oh, I never heard that he had it during. I don't think that was noted that he had the girlfriend during all of this stuff going down. I just know he has someone now, or like he
Mhm.
moved on quickly.
Well, he
Really
did cheat
fast.
on her. I just don't know if it's with the same
Oh,
woman.
he did cheat on
Yeah.
her?
Yeah, he
Okay.
did cheat.
Yeah, I don't know when he got together with that woman. I can look quick.
Yeah, I'm curious. Why would a nurse, a
Yeah.
living mother, have to be married with lots of family support, a nanny, and all just redrum her children? Also, then want to die herself. This is not adding up. No, I get it. And it's almost like it was a different something took over.
Oh, they didn't start dating, it says, until. Oh, wait, they got married in April 2026.
Can you share a picture of her, Max? I just want to see if you could do a
Yes.
side by side of them too for everyone.
Should I do that? Let me look up that exactly.
Type harder, Max.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I always forget about that.
I do it too. Don't worry.
Let's see what this says. Lindsay, Chris, try have me feeling. What do you guys think? Let's try.
Okay, I think this one might work. Let me just.
And if you
share.
guys aren't following the lawyer, I believe that's his name on YouTube. He is awesome, Peter Tragos. I love listening to his podcast, his lives. I found him during the Karen Reed case. He breaks everything down so good. I'm just going to listen to what he said. I'm just going to mute this quick because I want to see what he just said.
Can you see it? Oh, wait, one moment. Let me pull it up. Oops, sorry, my other thing is still up there. Okay, so only 2 photos are Lindsay Clancy. The others are the new wife. Hold on, sorry, the maintenance man is here. One moment, Crystal.
I heard the banging. But yeah, I mean, look at her face in that top picture. She's looking back. I don't know. So how do you guys think that we will get an answer today? I'm curious to know what all the chats think.
I know. I'm so back and forth. Hold on one second. I'm so back and forth. I'm literally trying to listen to things as we're on here right now. I think a lot of people, oh, thank you. I think a lot of people are just questioning the reasonable doubt now, like from what I'm listening to,
Sorry,
thinking
guys,
that
the
they didn't.
maintenance is here.
Oh. One second. I'm trying to. Sorry, I'm reading something Peter just posted. Do you think we're going to have an answer today, Max?
I don't think that we'll get an answer. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's see if we get past the 2 hour and 15 mark, then I'm going to say we will not have an answer.
Well, I bet if we get to brick by brick, they both look cray. They do.
Yeah.
I think if we get to towards the evening, we'll kind of an idea because they could probably potentially tell the judge too, we're a little bit closer. And if he doesn't send them home around 4 or 5 o'clock, then we probably will have a feeling that it's coming.
I'm sorry to be laughing. I had to move rooms, and now I have the she said yes because my friend got engaged. So that's why that's over me.
Well, congrats to your friend.
Yes, it was really pretty. Did you see? I posted a.
No, but I will look right after this.
Yeah, it was really, really beautiful. It was on the beach, so.
So sweet.
Yeah. Six Sicilian says, I hope I don't get annihilated here, but I am in the camp that Patrick did it. I think a lot of people are.
We're allowed to agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people are. I think I'm curious if there'll be more people wanting to look into it, because I know a lot of people don't feel happy with the trial and how everything went down and the evidence that came out that a lot of people don't think was sufficient enough to, make Lindsay guilty. So I'm a little bit curious to see if maybe there'll be something else that comes out. And like I said, there was weird stuff going on with the police, which we saw with Karen Reed, where everyone started out, she's 100% guilty. And then that tide turned quickly, where I think most people now agree that she did not do it and it was corruption and things going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't even get me started on
Yeah.
the Karen Reed case. I could sit here for days.
Yeah.
I just DM'd you something on Instagram. I don't know if there's a way you could share that on here. It's Peter.
Is it a video?
Yeah, it was a video from
Hmm.
Peter. Because
Maybe
I
I
just
can
looked at his
try.
YouTube and he didn't post it on there, which I'm upset with. But
The only thing is I don't have Instagram because this is my YouTube Gmail.
oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
I'm thinking. It's a video, so I don't think I can.
Okay.
But
Hey, Gary, welcome in.
yeah, I do think though a lot of people think the husband did it or had some sort of involvement. There's a lot of theories going around about him, and I think I don't know. It's interesting.
Because she's also not denying it though. So I think that's also something we have to keep in our mind as well. Like she's not denying at all that the fact that she committed this crime.
Mm-hmm. Because also I've seen people saying, well, he convinced her that she did it. I don't know that you could be convinced of that despite how mentally ill you are. I don't think even if I was super mentally ill, if someone could convince me, oh, you did this, like how do you say I watched myself do it, which is literally a quote from Lindsay, which I think we all just saw actually. Yeah, that was on the photo of her.
Yeah, it's the whole situation is just super, super sad. It's depressing. But like I said, hearing from different experts right now, like I'm listening to Peter, what he's saying, I'm listening to other people on the internet that cover true crime and what their opinions are. It's very interesting because some people are saying they don't feel as if the prosecution gave them enough evidence to prove beyond reasonable doubt that she did it. But to me, it's like, I think we all are in agreement that she did this crime. We're just trying to understand whether, like they're saying, was it psychosis or did she have this premeditated?
Michelle, I don't want to share your Instagram username, but I think I might be able to share the video, but do you mind just unliking the video? I just don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so your handle can stay private. Just in case. Again, I never think people who are watching in live are normally the crazy ones. It's the people who watch the replay that get insane, and we get some crazy comments. So I don't think.
All right, see if that worked.
Okay, let me see. And again, I don't know it's going to work, but I figure we might as well try. Yeah, I'm sorry. They're here spraying for bugs, so the guy had to come into the room.
Oh, you got rid of your bed bugs finally?
Oh, Michelle, stop spreading rumors.
Damn, Michelle.
It is not bed bugs. They're like just.
First it was the butthole bleaching, and now it's bed bugs.
Max,
you're going to be known for some stuff.
He is.
Oh my God.
The bleaching was real. The bed bugs is not. I've never once, nor will I ever, I hope, have bed
I
bugs.
check for them. Every time I go to a hotel, I literally pull up the sides of the beds. I check. I get so disgusted.
Oh, I think I can share it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. We are new to
Michelle.
Oh, goodness.
You said that with such a straight face, too.
I do that. So who's going to the streamers prom?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. 6 Sicilian said there are several reasons, too many to mention, but in my opinion, it was a huge neon sign during her testimony. Body language DNA is not Lindsay's. The mother-in-law's actions as though she's on Elsie's side a lot. Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are saying. They're just like Max is saying, her DNA is not on the bands, and it's so back and forth. Like, again, I personally think that she did commit this crime. But there are people that are questioning it, and I'm not judging it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, and I love to hear it. Like, I love to hear why you feel that way or what brought
Mhm.
you to that decision.
Yeah. And I think that's what's important is like, especially with a case like Nancy Guthrie, and obviously we're not here to talk too much about that today, but if you don't keep talking about everything and bringing up the things like the portable wheelchair, you aren't going to get,
Every
you're
I
not
think
going
I
to
was
get
on Mark the
answers.
Shark's like live just looking at his drone footage, which shout out to him. He always has the best footage, I swear.
Yeah.
But someone was like talking about like the creases in the doorway, and they're like, see, that's where the portable wheelchair could have been
I can't. That
in the
fucking portable
backpack.
wheelchair, excuse my language, but
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
But again, it's one of those things where, just because you can't get upset. You have to be pragmatic here. You can't bring your own emotion into it really, because that's obviously just hearsay. We have to look at the evidence and what's to look at. So I understand when people look at it and think to themselves, oh, why is her evidence not on the bands that allegedly did it? That is weird because that's evidence and there's no evidence. Hold on. I think that the maintenance man is here again.
Also, we went by Annie and Tommaso's house when we were in Tucson. I have to say, they have a very, very cute neighborhood. Their house was very nice. We looked to see if that neighbor Connie, like where their house, I believe the name was Connie, where her house was positioned. But it's hard because their neighbors side by side aren't really like, it's not like a neighborhood that you're thinking of where things are just like so close where you could see what each other's doing or like you could look over your fence. And I know this is such a sidetrack conversation, but I was just thinking when someone brought up Annie and Tommaso. But yeah, their neighborhood was very nice. I wish we got to see their old house, but from where they are, it doesn't look like they're struggling at all financially. Because I know that was a question, like financially, were they struggling? Were they not living in like a nice area, things like that? But their house was very nice.
Hey, I'm back again. But their house was nice and it looked like they had a nice backyard. Like there was a lot going on. Tabitha, I did see that there were vehicles at Nancy's and the garage was open.
Well, we went and there was people there, but they were outside taking selfies. He
Yeah.
was from Arizona and he
Mhm.
had like his family in town. So he took them to Nancy's house to take selfies, which I thought was weird.
Really weird
To take
and
selfies in front of her house.
kind of
Um,
disrespectful.
yeah.
But there's psycho healthcare people everywhere. There's been many cases of doctors offing their children. Wow, that is scary. I didn't know that it was common. But I mean, we look at I think his name was Brian Nassar or Larry Nassar. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but he was the physical therapist for the women's gymnastics team, the United
Yes.
States, and he was abusing all the girls. Like
Ooh.
hundreds of girls were touched or abused by him sexually. So I think it's unfortunate. You can't trust everyone. And, you see that at schools with teachers. It's scary. Yeah. I can try and share this. It's just going to be really zoomed in because
Let's see what it looks like. I
Yeah.
wanted to see, I want everyone to see, and shout out to Peter. Not that he watches this channel because he's huge, but
Peter, if you're watching, we made it. Okay.
You guys are so cute. I love you guys.
Oh, I'm cracking up.
We love you too.
I know.
It worked out, you guys. This was really last minute, but Crystal was able to hop on, so we were happy.
I know. Our group chats are just so fun.
Crystal,
We're always laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird, Jody. Jody just said she is a nurse and cut her wrist the wrong way to hit main arteries.
Yeah. See, that's another thing that people find really suspicious because you're a nurse, you would know how to do that. And that's a pretty common thing. Like even I've heard of how to cut your wrists from television. So that's
I learned on Grey's Anatomy because that's Demi Meredith Grey. Oh no, Meredith Grey, like her mom supposedly like committed suicide, but in her therapy she figured out that her mom actually didn't commit suicide because being a doctor she would know where to cut her wrists. It was more for like a cry for help in that moment. So you know what I mean? So like being in medical, Like they know exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
Girl, I am all about some Grey's Anatomy.
Don't even get me started. I restarted
Girl.
once I hit season 10 because Christina Yang and Derek are gone.
Yeah. And then when that happens, I thought that I would never watch the show again because I was like, no, it's never.
Yeah.
No,
gonna
I'm not
stay.
watching it now. Do you still watch it?
I haven't watched the last couple seasons, but I watched up to like I think season 22. I think 21.
Oh,
22.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I
didn't
got
even know
really
there were
far.
that many.
Oh
No,
yeah.
they're on like 27 right now or
Oh
28.
my
Yeah.
God.
So it gets better.
And
Wow.
Richard Weber's still alive somehow.
No.
All right, let's see. Parts of Jailer's video was creepy. Oh, I didn't see it. What did he post?
Hi, Allison.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Jody. When Derek was gone, I stopped watching. Oh, there we go.
It's gonna have to be really close up on him.
Okay, that's fine.
'cause I
I
don't
just
want
want them to
everyone
hear
seeing-
him. And again,
Yeah.
Tragos Law, he's awesome. If you guys like to follow cases, oh hey John, thanks for subscribing. If you guys want to hear, yeah, I would leave it like that.
Okay, I'm gonna turn on the volume, and I don't know if it's gonna start in the middle of it or not. Is this the start of it, Michelle?
I don't know. I can't tell because you're so zoomed in. I think you
Okay.
could zoom a little bit out, like a little bit, right there.
Okay.
Perfect. It's not, the volume's not on though.
Oh. I don't know why.
We really just need to hear it. So
Yeah, that's it. It's just,
Yeah, I just don't know if it's because it's coming from the other tab because I have it shared like I normally would. You know?
do you want me just to put it up into this?
Oh, like hold it up. Can you do that, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just do that and we'll just keep it on his face so people know who we're talking about.
Yeah, that's perfect.
also, hi, John.
Hi, John. Okay.
One moment, I'm just pulling it up.
It's okay. This is like, again, half a tripod and a dream on these streams, you guys. Thank you all for being here.
Okay, ready? Tell me
Yep.
if you can hear this.
Feeling today that with different prosecutors, how different this trial could have been. Some of these experts are putting forward some evidence and analysis and expert opinions that I think make a lot of logical sense and would make you question a lot of what the defense is putting forward, what their experts say, what Reddington might be argued. But every time I come back to the way the prosecutors started from opening statement and handled themselves throughout this trial, just from somebody like me who has been watching this trial from beginning to end, it is really, really hard for me to find them credible enough to say, yes, they've really proven this case beyond a reasonable doubt, even if they have some good experts, even if their experts make good points. Because as Reddington comes up on cross-examination and continues to point out the inconsistencies, the things that don't make sense, the lack of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, it is becoming more and more apparent to me that that's where this case falls, maybe more than the defense proving that she had psychosis, which of course not the burden that they have in Massachusetts, but it's becoming clearer to me as we're winding down this trial, and that's exactly what we've done. This was the last witness, the last day of evidence. Evidence is now over. All we have left is closing arguments and the law coming and being instructed from the judge. Couldn't help but get the feeling today.
What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I'm over here thinking of something to try to say. I don't know.
Michelle, what do you think? Because you're the one who shared it with us.
I mean, I want to know what his thoughts on closing arguments were, but I
Yeah.
thought that was very interesting to hear, like the reasonable doubt. Like he doesn't feel like, I took it out of that he doesn't feel like they're proving enough reasonable doubt
Mm-hmm.
because, hold on one second.
Yeah.
Because
Miss Trial says he is nice looking. Yeah, he was handsome.
one moment.
I don't know.
That's what it is. The defense has absolutely no burden. The Commonwealth bears the burden.
I don't really get what that means, though.
Same.
It's-
I'm over,
You? I'm trying to process it, and I'm like, am I just not listening closely enough, or you know?
Did I
Michelle's even
freeze?
trying to explain it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's because of the Massachusetts. There's specific. Hold on, let me see if I could pull it up even more. It's Massachusetts. It's their laws required beyond a reasonable doubt into moral certainty. Massachusetts law requires. One moment, I'm reading into it.
I mean, that could be the thing. I guess if the jury says we don't feel we have enough evidence, then it's a hung jury, and then they can declare a mistrial or anything of that sort. And that happened recently. My friend was on a jury, and that took place, and then it was declared a mistrial because they didn't feel that there was enough evidence.
Hold on,
So,
I'm getting us some answers. Okay, in Massachusetts, because Clancy has raised a not guilty by reason of insanity, lack of criminal responsibility defense, the Commonwealth has the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that she was criminally responsible. In other words, the defense does not have to prove to the jury Lindsay was definitely insane. The prosecution has to overcome that defense. So to us, do we feel like they did that? So when you hear the Commonwealth carries a burden, think of it like the prosecution is carrying the legal weight of proving, yes, Lindsay committed these acts and she was legally responsible for them. So I think it's trying to say, like, are they proving that she was legally responsible for the acts of this case? Like they're carrying that burden. So basically, like we all think obviously she has mental health issues, but outside of that, did they actually prove to us though that she is like legally is responsible for this? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it says we have carried that burden. The evidence shows she understood what she was doing and understood it was wrong. Basically, the prosecution has pointed to things like planning her actions before and after the killings. Evidence, they say, demonstrates awareness and control. The defense has pointed to the extensive psychiatric history, postpartum psychosis, medications, requests for help, and expert testimony that she was unable to appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct. So if you're watching the jury instructions, closing arguments, and hear burden of proof, or Commonwealth carries a burden, that's what they're talking about. A jury doesn't have to think, I believe Lindsay was insane. They can instead think, I'm not sure the Commonwealth proved beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not legally insane. The uncertainty can be enough for the defense under the applicable standard. Like we have carried that burden. The evidence shows that she was understood what she was doing and understood it was wrong. So they basically had to prove that she understood what she was doing and that it was wrong. Not necessarily that she committed these crimes, but that it wasn't a psychosis or because of her mental health.
I mean, she said, I did it. And I pictured.
But they're trying to understand though, did she do that because she was under psychosis or because she actually knew what she was doing and she had clear intentions there?
I mean, if I was on the jury, I would probably say I think that you gave us enough evidence where I'd say she did it and was not under psychosis, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because she was able to have that conversation with Patrick, let him know, like, I think it was like the stomach medicine or whatever that the child needed. She reminded him to pick that up. She was able to call in the food order. To me, that's proving this to me beyond reasonable doubt that she was in the right state of mind to understand what she was doing. Like if you're able to pick up the phone and place an order, have a conversation, remind your husband to pick up the meds, know to use these bands to do it, and know the order of how you want to unalive your children. To me, that's enough proof in my eyes that she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, I think it was proved. I think it was premeditated. And just my opinion, guys, I think it was premeditated. I think they did hopefully, like if I was on the jury, I would absolutely find her guilty.
Yeah.
I just
And
think
John
there's
said
too
it-
many. There's too many
that's the
things.
case. Yeah, everyone will declare insanity. I understand, like, her healthcare providers did not advocate for her. Her family did not advocate for her. We all knows that she had something
Yeah.
mentally wrong, but from what we were told, it seems as if she was aware of what she did. She didn't, and like they're saying she was in a great mood that night. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Crystal's part too about waiting for the husband to be gone and whatnot.
She timed it. It's
Yeah,
premeditated.
Like they said, why not get DoorDash? Why not get Uber Eats? Yeah, Allison said, I've unfortunately not had time to see much of this case, so I can't comment on it fairly. I understand. It is nice that you guys are just here and chatting with us. But for those who have followed along on this case, can you let us know in the chat? Do you think it's going to come back hung, guilty, not guilty?
Or we
do
can
you
do
think
numbers.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 is guilty, 2 not guilty. 1 guilty, 2 not guilty.
Can I read something from my friend who she followed from day one, the entire thing?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yeah.
She says, this might sound crazy, but I really do believe her. I really do not think she did it at all. And I do think she was in psychosis, but did not commit the crime after listening to everything that was said. Also, and then she says, this was the judge that did my jury duty, which is weird. She's from that area and she had jury duty with that judge for a murder trial. Then she was on the jury also, keep in mind. This whole investigation was so mishandled because he has friends in the police department and they did not do a proper investigation. I think it was extremely shady and there are a lot of unanswered questions that they've just not addressed at all. They instead just took his word for everything without actually having evidence to prove what he was saying. But if you're going to take his word, why can't we take her word? And I don't know if she's meaning though, because her word is that she did it. So whatever. But she just said, I've watched for the past 5 days. I really just can't believe that she's done it. I just think it's going to be a hung jury. So she thinks it's going to be a hung jury. But Michelle, I see everyone saying in there what they think.
Yeah, I think people think it's guilty. There's a few twos. However, I do know enough about legal trials and insanity. Please, haven't watched enough of it. It's too controversial. In my opinion, every single person is going to declare insanity plea if it gets off. Yeah, I do think that could potentially have an effect on.
Says get rid of that friend.
Goodness,
His commentary is just so funny. I'm sorry.
Hilarious. Hung jury.
Yeah,
hung jury. I think regardless of what side you're on, it's going to be a hung jury is what everyone's thinking. Yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling, I personally think that they may come back that she's guilty because for those who have sat in that, courtroom, they may feel as if there was enough evidence proving that she knew what she was doing. Because like I said, in the closing arguments, they didn't bring up any doctors, anyone that was brought to the stand. They kept it like very clean so that it didn't, no reasonable doubt was even thought of in that moment. If that makes sense.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Either way, those 3 babies are gone.
Yeah.
And it's just tragic. It's absolutely tragic.
Summary Wednesday, I could tell you. Go ahead, keep chatting. But she just asked how many women were on the jury.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, so it's 3. Well, okay, so it started with 18, I believe. 3 women and 3 men were gone. The final jury makeup was 9 women and 3 men, and the fourth person was C18. She's an older female that people described her as the grandmother.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting seeing what that jury decides, actually, I think.
Yeah, because if there was more men, I think they would find her guilty in a second.
Same. But especially having the grandma, that could go either way.
Yeah.
A grandma type, I feel like could really think it either way. She could be the like cookies and cream grandma, where I feel like she takes Lindsay's side, or she could be the spoil the grandchildren grandma, where she fully thinks that she did it and she's guilty. So I guess we'll see. Oh, Groovy, thank you. It's a pretty cool shirt.
It is.
Yeah, very Mexico.
Well, also, yeah, it just makes you think like those women, because like you could have one woman in that whole jury that went through something similar. Not that saying that they ever like had that same mindset as Lindsay, but they could have been put into that situation that brought them back to their depression or their baby blues after giving birth and been like, you know what, I've been there. Or someone who suffers from depression, like it's all it's going to take is that one person that's just not on the bandwagon.
That's holding out. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. I think hopefully we have an answer, but just bring it back. Unfortunately, 3 children did lose their lives, and all of this is, I think, taken away from that. So please say a prayer for them. Keep them in your mind. Keep everyone who knew them, the family, extended family, their friends, the town of Duxbury. We're sending them a lot of love.
Yeah. And honestly, haven't followed this case, but I can say seeing my son-in-law who is on multiple meds for SMI, I have seen him as happy as can be, married on cloud 9, opening tons of gifts, and next hour trying to X. Yeah. And I don't think that's anything that we could ever, for someone who doesn't know and go and suffers from this or doesn't have an understanding, I don't think that's something that I personally would ever understand as well. Sorry, the chat. Let me just go through all the chat before Patrick said she was talking. We don't have evidence of that 911 call, states different. FBI psychiatrist saying pills, residue, no testing done, way too many discrete testimonies. John said, in my opinion, you unalive 3 kids. You never should be in society again. I'm not bashing her. I realize she had some quack doctors and shame, but you don't see light of day. I agree. And that's what I think we're saying here too, is like,
right,
you did it. Like you need to be taken out. But I'm also like, I don't think that she cares. Like, I don't think that she wants to live a life. Like her life is completely gone. Like I said, she's in a wheelchair. She's paralyzed. Yeah. She's either going to be in a hospital for the rest of her life, a psych ward, jail. She's going to be on suicide watch 24/7. I could see her potentially trying to take her own life if she does wherever she ends up going after this trial ends. Because her life is just is over.
I would want to anyway, just because the thought of what she did. I mean,
there's no women jurors are harder on women than the men jurors are. I agree, Stella. I think that potentially, because women, and I always say this too about even like bosses, like any bosses that I've had, like I've always enjoyed working for men more than women. Women can be a lot harder. I feel like they're a little bit more strict. Whereas like, yes, we're saying some of them could have potentially went through the same things
more
as motions, but they could also be a little bit more more wackadoodles.
Yeah, women put more emotions in things more than they should sometimes. I agree. I mean, like I admit that. So with that many women on the jury, that does kind of, I don't think that we'll have an answer anytime soon. They'll be having a couple
like you go back and forth, like what if this happened or what if this happened? I was also reading something too, like there was some jurors that were like shaking their head towards the end of the closing arguments when the prosecution was speaking. So that's also, I mean, you never know.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I think we definitely want to get back on.
Sorry, I'm reading Johnny said, preach it, Michelle. Ever seen the movie Bad Bosses? Yes, it is such a good, when he's in the chair and he's like, that's not my name. If you haven't seen that. Oh, wait, is it bad? Oh, wait, I think I'm thinking of Horrible Bosses. Yes, that's
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses.
I'm looking that up because I've never seen that.
So I'm also reading, like, because it's just popping up on everything. Someone just posted, I don't know if you want me to share, this woman, Allie Beth Stuckey. She posted, I was wrong about the Lindsay Clancy. Here's why I changed my mind. She was never diagnosed with postpartum depression or psychosis. She was not on 13 medications at once. She was not hearing voices. She was not abandoned by her family. She was diagnosed with a mood disorder, never psychosis, and went to a variety of doctors who all prescribed different medications, which she took unreliably and not simultaneously. She only heard a voice one time, and that was right before she killed her kids. Extremely atypical for psychosis. She carefully planned her children's murders down to the minute. She researched the distance of a restaurant she asked Patrick to go to, added on a last-minute errand before he left, calmly answered his phone call in the middle of her crime, brought her children down to the basement one by one, overpowering the resistance and killing them slowly. It does seem like she had support from her family. She may have still been overwhelmed, but it's not true that all of her cries for help went unanswered. I originally placed too much blame on too many SSRIs she was prescribed for years on my show. I've talked to health professionals who have been warning about the violence-inducing effects of these drugs, and I thought Lindsay's case may have been an example of that reality. Is it possible these SSRIs had a negative effect? Absolutely, but this case, this drove her psychotic episode, is weak. The evidence continues to reveal, in my opinion, that Lindsay Clancy methodically murdered her children, and she was fully aware of what she was doing.
Honestly, they make a really good point. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. I'm just like going to sit here and read all of this for the rest of the day, guys.
Same.
Hi, Janet. Oh, Epiphany's in the chat. Hey.
Hey, Epiphany.
Yes. Oh, if anyone, before we get off, if you're not subbed up to Crystal or Max, please go and do so. I am going to share both of their links right now.
Oh, let me put both of you guys. Also, Crystal just hit 1,000 subscribers, everyone. So please say congrats to her.
I did. Thank you, guys.
Are you so excited?
I became a mod for Crystal last night.
Yes.
Really? I'm dead.
I was like, throw me in, boss.
Yeah, she was like, I think I should be a mod.
That's
and I
so
was like,
funny.
Done. Didn't even have to hesitate that one.
All right.
But thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys all for joining. I know this is a little bit spontaneous, but once it went into verdict watch, I was like, I want to get on there and chat with everyone.
Yeah.
See how everyone's feeling about this case. I know it's very sad. It's confusing, and I think everyone has their own opinions, and all opinions are welcome. I'm never going to disagree with someone just based on how they feel or what they think, because everyone has their own opinions, and you're more than welcome to share that here. It's safe. No one's going to judge you.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And we're on verdict watch right now, and we'll be back. If something happens, we'll pop back on here. I think we should, if we do come to a verdict today. And we will be on standby. But thank you, Crystal, for coming on with the tripod.
Thank you, guys.
It's been fun.
Thank you, everyone. It's been so great. And we had a great show. I think lots of thought-provoking conversation, which is what we want. We want to just go through everything and just chat as much as we can. So thank you all for watching. John, our trip to Arizona was good. Just before we hop off, we had a good time. We did not find Nancy, but we
signed the banner for everyone. We signed all of our subscribers who were in the chat. We wrote everyone's name on the banner. We saw Annie's house. I think our overall takeaway too from that trip was basically that all of the locals are on the same pathway, I feel like, basically saying that the family is not guilty, they're not involved, that they're letting law enforcement take over, that they all have grieved, and they no longer are basically actively chatting about it. A lot of those that we chatted with were feeling bad for Tommaso, or feeling bad for the family. So it didn't seem as if they believe that the family has anything to do with it. They kind of no one really wanted to chat about it. The mailman looked very devastated. We chatted with Nancy's mailman. We tried to get as many people to speak on it as possible that were in the area. Max actually got out of the car when I left him at Nancy's house just to turn around just to see how dark it was. And Max, I don't know if you want to just explain that quickly before we hop off, how that was for you, like being.
It was really, really dark, really scary. You literally could not see anything. And it was intimidating. I would not have found comfort living in that area at night at that time, because it was really dark, you guys. And it changed a lot of my thoughts on who would have been able to actually navigate that area, who would have been able to go there. Mistrial. So just Mistrial's asking, we did have someone flip us off. It was not Tommaso. It did look like him, but I said that.
Where was I?
You were in the car, Michelle, but we were chatting. 857 was driving. Michelle was in the passenger. I was in the back seat. And the thing was, I think he was just kind of a douche, but basically he had a salty
Oh, I
beard.
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Someone went back and found it and sent it to me. He had a salty beard, and I think Tommaso was more of a salt and pepper. So it was unfortunate. Well, not unfortunately not him, but it was not him. So yeah.
That would have been funny as hell.
Yeah,
It
right.
was,
He
though.
was there walking around downtown Tucson, flipping people off.
Get him with that wand, Max.
Yeah. Oh, God. And on that note, it's time to hop off.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love you guys.
Course.
I
We
love you so
Crystal.
much. We got to do these more.
Yeah.
Next week will be a little bit of a back to normal schedule, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, jet set. JP, the jury's been deliberating for 2 hours. I'm going to go dig a little bit deeper right now. I got to get some stuff done for work. But yeah, Mark did share some amazing drone footage. So if you guys haven't seen that, go over to Mark the Sharks Live from last night. If you guys haven't liked, subscribed, or to any of us, please do so. We want to keep the conversation going. And we thank you guys all for being here with us.
Mhm.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
You guys.
Love you.
Have a
Bye.
good day. Love you all.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.